Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're diving into something really fascinating and honestly kind of mysterious about your very own mind. We're looking at a psychological phenomenon that almost feels like literal magic, but as you'll see, it's actually deeply wired right into the architecture of our brains. I mean, have you ever felt absolutely 100% certain of a moment, even when pure logic tells you it's impossible? Well, let's jump right in and explore the memory that never actually happened.
So picture this. I want you to put yourself right into this scene. You're walking into a brand new coffee shop, a place you have never, ever been to in your life. The barista hands you your drink. Someone laughs over by the window. The espresso machine does that familiar hiss. And then suddenly, boom, it hits you like a ton of bricks.
You're standing there thinking, I've been here before. I know exactly what happens next. You get this overwhelming feeling that the door's going to open, a woman in a blue jacket will walk in, and you'll turn around at the exact second she does. But here is the crazy catch. You haven't been here before. You know you haven't. Your rational mind is completely certain of it. And yet, your brain is absolutely screaming at you that this moment has already happened. So for a few fleeting seconds, you're basically existing in two realities at once. One experiencing something totally new, and the other insisting you're replaying a memory that literally does not exist.
Chapter 1. The Ghost in the Machine.
Okay, stepping back from that eerie scenario for a second, let's look at the actual reality of this psychological glitch. You are definitely not alone here. About 60% of people report experiencing déjà vu at least once in their lives. And honestly, some people get it all the time. It usually only lasts a few seconds, maybe a minute if you're really unlucky. But in that tiny window of time, a profoundly strange event happens. You don't just feel like you've seen something before, you know you have. So if you're in that 60%, hey, your experience is entirely valid. But what the heck is actually happening up there?
To figure that out, we kind of have to look at how humans have tried to explain this throughout history, because people have been talking about this for thousands of years. Ancient philosophers, they thought it was a flash of divine insight. Fast forward to medieval monks, and they were pretty sure it was a sign of demonic possession. Yikes! It actually wasn't until the 1800s that psychologists started looking at it and classifying it as a memory disturbance. And finally, in 1876, a French psychologist named Émile Boirac officially coined the term déjà vu. And for over 150 years since that exact moment, scientists have been racking their brains trying to solve this mystery.
Today, the leading theory in psychology, which was pushed forward by researchers like Alan Brown and Ann Cleary, suggests it's essentially, it's a timing glitch. Think of it like this. Your brain takes in sensory info, and normally it categorizes and stores it all neat and tidy. But during déjà vu, two totally different memory systems activate at the exact same time. System 1 looks around and says, yep, this is new. But System 2 simultaneously triggers a feeling of familiarity. So your conscious mind gets hit with both of these contradicting signals right at once, which creates that super unsettling sensation. The big takeaway here? Your brain is literally telling you two completely incompatible things at the exact same time.
Chapter 2. The Phantom Resemblance.
Now, let's dive into a rather unsettling idea. What if both of those conflicting brain signals are actually correct? To understand that, we have to look at how memory actually works. If you close your eyes right now and try to picture your childhood bedroom, you aren't hitting play on a perfect 4K video recording. No, your brain actually stores fragments, feelings, and patterns. It remembers the specific way the light hit the floor or, the smell of old wood. So when you walk into a new environment, like our totally new coffee shop, your brain goes to work unconsciously scanning for patterns that match memories you've totally forgotten you even have. It's hunting for subtle matches in the layout of the room or even the frequency of the background noise.
And this exact process is the foundation of what researchers call the hologram theory. Under this view, déjà vu isn't about remembering one specific single event. It's about recognizing a holistic pattern, what psychologists call a gestalt, that your brain has actually encountered before. Maybe the geometry of this new room or the specific angle of the sunlight perfectly matches a forgotten fragment from years ago. So your brain detects that pattern and immediately screams, hey, this is familiar, even though your conscious mind knows for a fact you've never been in this specific room. The reality is, you probably have encountered this pattern before. You just don't consciously remember it at all.
Chapter 3. The Timing Glitch.
So, how does this phantom familiarity actually interact with time and the physical mechanics of your brain? Well, it turns out this glitch comes in a few variations, which really highlights just how incredibly complex our memory systems are. For instance, there's déjà vécu, which translates to already lived. Then there's déjà senti, meaning already felt.
Oh, and there's even the exact opposite, jamais vu, where something deeply, deeply familiar to you suddenly feels completely alien and just wrong. Each of these strange experiences points to different mechanical misfires in how our brains process time and memory.
But when it comes to standard déjà vu, neuroscientist Florin Dolkos and his team have zeroed in on a very specific culprit. They're looking right at the medial temporal lobe, and specifically the hippocampus and its surrounding structures. This is the exact area of your brain that's responsible for encoding and sequencing your memories. According to Dolkos' research, déjà vu is essentially a retrieval error right in this specific region. Imagine your brain attempts to access a memory, but oops, it pulls the wrong file, or maybe even tries to open multiple files at once. It's literally like when your computer freezes up loading the wrong document while the correct one is still desperately trying to open in the background. Both processes are happening simultaneously, and your conscious awareness is just left dealing with all the resulting confusion.
Chapter 4. Your Brain's Prediction Trap. Now keep in mind the temporal lobe doesn't just store your memories, it sequences them. It keeps track of what comes first and what comes next. And this points to a slightly uncomfortable truth about how you operate in the real world. Your brain is essentially a massive, unconscious prediction machine. Literally, every single moment of your life, it is running thousands of micro-simulations to anticipate what's going to happen next. You don't walk up to a door and consciously think, okay, the door will open when I push it. Your brain just already knows.
So think about how we actually process all those predictions. When your brain's predictions are wrong, you feel conscious surprise, right? You notice it. But when they are accurate, which thankfully is the vast majority of the time, you feel absolutely nothing. Reality just unfolds exactly as you expected it to, and you seamlessly go about your day without a second thought. But what happens when we combine our little memory glitch with this prediction machine? Well, here's how it plays out. Step 1. Your brain unconsciously recognizes a familiar pattern. Let's go back to the geometry of that new coffee shop. Step 2. Based on that hidden, buried memory fragment, it runs a prediction. Maybe it expects a woman in a blue jacket to walk in. Step 3. By pure coincidence, or just because of how common certain sequences are, that prediction actually comes true. And Step 4. In that exact, precise moment, reality feels perfectly like you've already lived it. And why? Because your brain did live it, just somewhere else, at an entirely different time. That overwhelming feeling of certainty? It's not a delusion. The familiarity is 100% genuine. The only delusion is simply thinking you know why it's familiar.
Chapter 5. The Illusion of Now.
So, what does this whole psychological glitch actually tell us about human reality? Honestly, it reveals something deeply unsettling about the nature of our consciousness. We do not just passively receive reality. Our sense of the present moment isn't some solid, fixed thing at all. Instead, we are constantly, rapidly comparing our environment against fragments of memory that we can't even consciously access. We're running nonstop predictions, and then we seamlessly stitch all of this data together to create a cohesive story that our brain presents to us as now. Most of the time, this whole incredible system works perfectly, but sometimes the wires cross.
And when those wires cross, a pattern from your past violently collides with your present, and reality literally glitches. You get shoved into this bizarre psychological state. You know something, and yet you completely don't know it, simultaneously. You exist in absolute certainty and complete uncertainty at the exact same time. You are quite literally remembering something that never even happened.
But then, just like that, it passes. The feeling evaporates into thin air. Which leaves us with this final, really provocative question to ponder. In that fleeting, weird moment of déjà vu, did your brain just show you something profoundly true about how it constructs your reality, or were you simply mistaken? Honestly, when it comes to the incredibly complex machinery of memory, pattern recognition, and our stitched-together perception of time, maybe the most honest answer is that there's really no difference between the two. Just a little something to think about the next time you walk into a strange new room.